Hey friends, hope you are doing good. Okay, and then my videos might be helping you. Okay, so uh, thanks in advance. We will be joining this call. So the topic for today is to discuss what is the definition of release. You know, I will explain you more about that. What do you mean by release itself? Okay, and then how it is important into the BA or PO. The roles and then their daily responsibilities. How it is important for them, and then why we create that definition of release. Who create the definition of release, and then when we create the definition of release. Okay, it's very important. Okay, so imagine you are working in a agile project, and then you are basically you are a product owner, and then you are responsible to create the whole delivery plan, and then you are also responsible to create a delivery plan. Okay, so delivery and release delivery and release both are different. Delivery means it might be reached to their before to that production environment. It might be okay. So whenever a milestone, I mean, whenever a piece of work you are delivering to the staging environment or their UAT environment, but if the release is something, it is went to the production. Okay, so how you will differentiate these two things, and the main topic release. Okay, I think you understood now. So delivery means it might be reaching to the one level down to the production, and release means it's reaching to the production where the end users can go and start using of it. Okay, so now the thing is why we create, and first of all, who create that. So again, similar to the definition of a ready and definition of a done, definition of release also, it's a team effort, not an individual effort. But here you might be interacting with the product management, and you might be also interacting with the client people, because they will help you to understand. Hi Om, good morning. So they will understand how frequently they want to see the working product in their you know uh, live environment. Okay, so that's why little enhancement in terms of a team level, definition of a ready and definition of a done you basically do within the team along with the product owner. But definition of a release, you might want to involve the client also, so that you can take their input as well. How frequently we want to deploy the product into their live environment. Okay, that's the key thing here. Okay, who create that? Yes, I said it's a product owner, product manager create that, but again, it's a kind of a collaboration within the team as well as the client. when we create that when we create that, it's again, you can define this definition of a release prior to your execution of the iterations. Okay, Om, if you have any specific question, please write in this chat. Okay, so I can explain that thing. Okay. Okay, so now uh, uh, so now what is the thing? Okay, yeah, I was talking about um, uh, so you will be creating this definition of release prior to your starting execution of your iterations, the sprints. Okay, so how I'm thinking, you can also visualize why it is important to set these guidelines. So similar to the definition of a ready and definition of a done, definition of release also important to visualize the conditions and parameters you should be validating before moving any your code or the product to the live environment. And you need to understand the importance of, if you don't have any guidelines, I don't have any parameters or checklist before moving the code to the production, you might be skipping some of the important checkpoints which you're supposed to do. Example, the security testing, security scan, vulnerability scan. You might be missing some of the NFR, You might be missing the user load testing, concurrent user testing, performance testing. So there, and then readiness of the document. So right, along with the release, you are also need to release the release note to the client. So you will be creating the release note, and then only you will be moving the code to the production, so that whoever client side people seeing what changes are coming and moving to the production, they can find all those things in the release notes. Got it right? So really, so there are some kind of documentation, some kind of testings. These are some parameters we have to cross check before moving it to release. So whenever in during your iteration and as per your release plan, whenever you are thinking to move the code to the production, this definition of release will be appear as a checkpoint to validate the things is mentioned or provided in the checklist is fulfilling or not. If not, you should not move the code to the production. You can hard stop that. Okay, so that's the some so these are the precautionary measurements, so you understand, right? If you move the things to the production without making these cautious things, without measuring these cautious things, maybe user will face the challenges while using your software or a tool or application. That time, if client will raise the issue related to your quality of product, it will be a trouble for you, right? Then that's why I'm saying these are very important, and I'm telling you from interview point of view, these are very specific questions you interviewer may ask you. And you, if you will be describing these topics in this way, these questions in this way, they definitely agree and acknowledge your knowledge. Okay, so now another part. So definition of ready: when we create, who create, why we create, we understand that, right? Okay, now I will tell you one more thing today. Let me bring one more topic to discuss. uh, uh, I think I have already explained many times, but generally people uh, you know um, uh, you know forget the things easily. I mean, yeah, this kind of a revision for you. Okay, so interview question point of view: what is RTE? I got this question long way during my beginning of the career, and I was unable to answer this question. What is RTE? Because I was not in the scaled agile portfolio model, and I never work in that environment that time, and that I never know this kind of things, terminologies. So I was unable to answer. Otherwise, I could have gained that job, and I was looking for job very intensively. But due to lack of that, I never work in that kind of methodology, the model, the delivery model, and all that. I was unable to answer that. Okay, so bookish knowledge. So interviewers are not like, you will be explaining, oh, RT release train engineer. The moment you say that, the next question they will fire you: who play the release train engineer? Tell me the roles and responsibilities of the release train engineer, and they will give you some kind of scenarios as a release train engineer. If this is the situation, how you will act. That's why bookish knowledge is important, but it cannot fulfill your all expertization. Expertization comes when you really live that life, when you really apply that knowledge into your daily work. Okay, so release train engineer, it's a role. See, scrum master, that scrum master facilitates calls, resolve team issues, etc., etc., within the scrum team, whereas the release train engineer, he owns or she owns many scrum teams, and then try to remove impediments, their issues, and manage the program increment ceremonies. not iteration level ceremonies. You got the point, right? The difference between the iteration level ceremony and program increment level ceremony. Okay, so iteration level ceremonies, it is 2 weeks of time ceremony where scrum master play the role, whereas the program increment level ceremonies where multiple scrum team ceremonies are planned by release train engineer. So that's a very keen and very crisp difference between these two roles. Okay, interview, they will ask you what is release train engineer, you will say release train RTE. They will ask what is RTE, you will say release train engineer. They will ask what is the roles and responsibilities of the release train engineer. Then you have to explain, yes, this role falls in skilled agile methodology, not in the essential safe model or normal scrum methodology. And the release train engineer works and manages for multiple scrum teams, whereas the scrum master works and manages only one scrum team. So you got the roles and responsibilities. Okay, the roles and responsibilities is managing the program increment level ceremonies, like setting up the program, I mean the meetings with the stakeholders for the feature prioritization, not the user story prioritization. I'm telling you the difference. In the normal agile scrum process, we prioritize the user stories, but in the portfolio safe model, a skilled agile, you will be prioritizing the features along with the product team. So that meeting is set up by the RTE. RTE also set up Scrum of Scrum, not a daily Scrum. Daily Scrum is this is these are the interview questions, guys. Okay, a daily Scrum is set up and managed by the Scrum Master within one Scrum team. Correct. And you ask what you did yesterday, what you are going today, what you are planned for tomorrow. Correct. The Scrum of Scrum is happen between multiple Scrum teams together who all are working for same product. You cannot have scrum of a scrum meeting between different product teams. No, that's not the objective. Within your product, if you are having multiple teams, then you should be bringing everybody on the same time, same call, so that everybody will knows what one team is doing, where they have reached. If they have any dependencies between each other's work, they will be discussing that. They will be getting the awareness when that work will be ready, so that they will start the dependent work from that point of time. Or if you have already knowing that dependencies, if it is you are not seeing the progress as you expected because your work is dependent on that, you can escalate that in that scrum meeting. I'm telling you, these are very important interview question, guys. Okay, so setting up these meetings, SMEs, I mean RT responsibilities, right? Then capacity planning meeting, then PI ceremonies, program into like a big room planning, BRP we call BRP, big room planning, and it is having 2 days full, meetings all day, full, 1 day, 2 days, full meetings, sometimes 3 days. Suppose you have a 5 or 6 features, you have a 2 or 3 scrum teams. So you will be finalizing all the features required for all these 3 teams, 4 teams, discussing with them, explaining the feature. And the business people, they also comes, they also tell you, oh, this feature was given, but I want to introduce a new feature. So within that BRP session, they will introduce a new feature also. So you need to understand, you need to discuss same time, you need to discuss whole analysis, you do the analysis for whole feature same time. That's the BA and PO responsibility. And immediately you have to write down, immediately you have to explain the feature to the, because that's the last chance for the client. And the client don't want to, client means the people from your top management. They are basically success, they're having a vision of the company. They might be looking for some new feature in their existing product, or your product manager basically telling you the new requirement. So that's why it is essential you will be taking up that feature same time, and then explaining it to team, understand that it is feasible or not. If it is feasible, they will estimate, and then you can prioritize that feature also same time. It's not a real practice, it's not an ideal practice, but the because program increment is held for 3 months, 6 iterations. So it is very highly, and it's very, I mean, kind of, it is giving a liberty to the product team or senior people. This is the last chance. You need to bring, if you something looking for a new feature and you see it is more important compared to the whatever we have today in the pipeline, in the backlog. So that's the last chance you have to get. Otherwise, once the program increment kick off the start, you cannot add anything within that 3 months of time. Whereas the agile scrum process is, it's a two weeks of time. So if some new requirement comes, basically you will be saying, oh, okay, we will add in the next iteration. So 2 weeks of matter, right? But in program increment is 3 weeks locking, 3 months locking time. So that's why, that's the ceremony RT release train engineer established. Then end of the BRP session, it circulates the list of features taking care by which team, and it's a full chart. It will be shared to the product management team. So that way, it is little different, the release train engineer and agile scrum, the scrum master role. Okay, so anybody during the interview, if somebody asks you, you should be explaining in this kind of way. Okay, detailed approach, not a booking knowledge. Booking knowledge will not help you. They will drill down and then you will fail. You have to visualize the same thing in your daily work, otherwise you will not be able to answer. Okay, so we have, in generally agile scrum, we have only, system architect, who closely work within your team, and then your specific areas related, do the technical architecture. But in agile, skilled agile, there will be system architect, there is a solution architect, there is a portfolio architect, and then there is a enterprise architect. So these many level of architects works. So these hierarchy, that's another point I'm telling you guys. These hierarchies you will find in kind of a product based organizations, not in the service based organizations. Service based organization doesn't maintain this kind of architecture, I mean, this kind of level of hierarchy. They are more focused on the sales and delivery, and then whenever they need, there will be separate group of people sitting as a architect group, and whichever project they require their help, they call out, they pull them, they do the job, and then again go back and sit. The engagement is not regular, but in a skilled agile, engagement is regular, because architect also create the features, architect also deliver the requirements, architect also involve in the demonstration. It's a more collaborative and engaging role in the scaled agile. So overall products health responsibility, the architecture is also responsible for the architects. It's not a who developers only things. So in that we work so collaborative, so closely, one team culture, right? That's the agile concept, right? One team culture. We pass, we all pass, we fail, we all fail. It's not one person responsibility. That's the theme. And then you can call out these things, phrases and all, during your interviews, so it will help you. Okay, so comment me for any topic you want to discuss. Otherwise, definitely I will be bringing myself new topics. If you really think some kind of some there are some loopholes in your understanding on any topic, you write down that thing, and then in your community chat also you can write down, or in this video comment section, live section also you can write down. Okay, so that way we will bring a those topics in our discussion. Let's catch up tomorrow also. I will explain you some market strategies, how the business analyst, product manager involved in the market strategy for any project. I will explain you tomorrow 11 a.m. sharp. Please join. Okay. So keep learning, guys. Thank you very much for joining. Have a nice day. Thank you.